of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
See, one thing about Negroes, man. Look at my boy. What's that clown's name? That clown, Khadijah cousin. Rook. Look how he talked all about Booker, telling the truth about Booker, and then as soon as Booker got in position, he pulled a Howard Cosell. In mid-flight, he changed up, started talking against Sharp, who gave him a break, talking against the other councilmen who were once there. And Booker was everything. But let's not make this a Booker thing, man. No. You know, because this is an A.H.A.D moment. This ain't a Booker moment. Where the hell we going with this?
But Holy Queen Mother mentioned something that people of religion miss. If they go to the Jews to worship, I either tell them not to do that, they're going against the commandments in the Torah. The Jews, I'm talking about, who going there idol to the graves and worshiping the dead.
Oh, well, we know that. Come on. This ain't a Jewish moment either. Let's talk about something, man. The heck with them, you know, because they are one of the main people that Allah has come to curse today.
I don't mean to talk about them, but
But you're talking about them anyway.
It's come up with I was with a film crew, and filming was done actually in a Jewish cemetery, right? And you know, after getting together from being a Creed, I don't like being in cemeteries too often, but I began to notice the tombstone, and you were talking about the most elaborate looking headstones I've ever seen. I mean, these things were fancy, and I'm talking about they were from the 1920s.
Did y'all hear what he said? I don't like to be inside the grave, but the Jews is all right.
No,
the living is all right, but the dead. I like being. Come on, man.
What it just took what happened. What happened? It took my attention. Just looking at how
you never ran through graveyards when you was a kid. You wasn't a bad
kid. I did. I was in the Woodland graveyard.
Woodland graveyard.
Yeah, that was before. That was before.
You ain't ran through no graveyards when you was a kid.
That's the part of feeling.
They might be growing weed up there, you know.
Good.
Oh, man.
No, I understand what Frank can't talk about though, because when they showed on the TV the other day, I was like.
But let's be for real. Let's be for real. He's been angry with them for a long time. You understand? Even before the time of Moses. Isaac gave them chance after chance. Look, you got to remember that the Jews is an offspring of the Hebrews. Right. They defied Israel and Allah, Jehovah, or Yahuwah, or Yahweh, and became Jews.
After they hated son of Israel, Judah, where they got their name from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they never learned their lessons. That's why Allah said, Ka'an, I favored you the most.
Right.
That's it.
Right. You're talking about the Jews.
Because then the Lord said Moses.
And the mercy. And in the mercy of all that. Like I even said in the Quran. Most of the Quran and most people don't want to realize that Muhammad, Aisha's talking to them Jews still. Get them one more shot. Muhammad being a seal of the Jews, the prophets that came before him.
And why the Arabs don't want to tell that.
That's true.
They don't want to tell that. You know, that's why, here we go again. This is the book, or is it that is the book? Right. Muhammad talking to the Jews saying that is the book, the Torah. That is the book, and there is no doubt. Not this is the book.
Right.
Because the Quran wouldn't talk about itself.
Right.
Have no need to talk about itself so much. It's just like when it said this book is for the believers. It was talking to the believers about the believers.
Right.
You know? It said this book is a criterion for that which come before it and that which is to come. Not for itself.
Right.
But they so easily, you know, fixed it up. But then when we point that on brothers here and they see and they understand, they still too coward and too much into the devil to actually step up and say, okay, there is a problem here.
Yeah.
You know?
And know what else they do too? Man, evil people are so slick. The Jews always bring up the Holocaust, right?
Holocaust.
Right? But at the same time, they make you focus on that when you relate to them. Oh, Hitler burned them all up.
But Hitler was a Jew.
But how many people have they burnt up?
But Hitler was a Jew.
And I'm not saying they put him in the furnace, but them some cold-hearted people.
But Hitler was a Jew.
Capitalistic and
How many people have they
Allah burned with their
own?
That's what they did.
But Hitler was a Jew.
Burned them with their own.
You know?
But Hitler was a Jew. But Hitler was a Jew. But Hitler was a Jew. Why they keep wanting the world to feel sorry about what they did to themselves, what one of their own did to them? It's just a cover. You know, and when you talk about being enslaved in brutal slavery, because we still slaves as people if you're working for somebody, you know, brutal slavery, they say you're a troublemaker. Here's a prejudiced racist. Don't give him no job. Don't hire him. Make sure you make this one suffer and keep him out. He's talking about that slavery stuff. And then these Caucasians saying that World Muhammad was wrong for not coming to San Francisco and apologizing for the Muslims that killed, I think, 14 San Franciscans or whatever the number was. Said they killed more San Franciscans, Caucasian San Franciscans. That they killed more than the Jews than the Ku Klux Klan killed in 50 years, so it had to be more than 14. But anyway, they saying that he never answered the call, and he is wrong because he was the leader and he had the power to stop these people from doing it, even though they came from the time of Elijah Muhammad. You know, they was bringing up stuff I didn't even know about, wasn't aware of, man. And they talked about how once he received power, he made it his business to go about liquidating every business that Elijah Muhammad had established for poor black folks. Mainly black folks coming out of jail to give them a re-entry program for real. To put them right to work. You understand? He went about his way going throughout America. Now these Caucasians talking. Liquidating all them businesses. And then talk about celebrating America. It's time to celebrate America. Come on, these are Caucasians. Why our people can't see that? Because the Caucasians didn't give the Negroes the commandment to talk against them or to be against them. And most of the people, and I know some of you brothers gonna hate me saying this, but most of you who follow World Muhammad from the very beginning were the cowards. Those who were scared to go out there and put their life on the line in war for this thing. They just wanted to turn themselves over. Sisters wanted to come out of the coverings and put on the business suits. Brother wanted to come away from the hard stand and become, meshed back in or liquidated back in with society. Look at me as an American. You know, those weren't the hardcore brothers who said, wait a minute. You know, this thing still ain't right. You know, now I'm not propagating Farrakhan because you got some hardcore brothers that want to stay with that, but some of the hardest brothers just left, stayed out because they seen that their opportunity to rule was taken away by World Muhammad. And Farrakhan really could only get a string of people that would come back for the promise of having power and position, thinking things was gonna be like it was in the old days. You understand? And those who were sincere to Islam could not stay with either of them. Could not stay with either of them. You know what I'm saying?
And so what I usually giving you here, if people listen to this truth that I usually send down to you, they make the same choice even now.
Yes, they
He
do.
too harsh.
I am too harsh
in Islam.
I am too
so
harsh
I stay with the numbers
truth.
out there in the orthodox way,
There you go.
which most of the world believe in.
There you
Because
go.
if you're dealing in spirituality, I got to look at me. You call me other than.
You calling me to a war. You calling me
And
to
I don't
a
want
real
that.
jihad.
I like my company.
Yeah. Let me stay and don't bother me because if they see you bothering me, then I'm going to be in trouble. You know, you sound like another Elijah or something. You know, no, I'm trying to pull not just the Negroes. I'm looking for the Caucasians and the Asians and everybody that will accept this truth to come with me under the commandments of Allah under this new covenant.
That's the
But A.H.A.D is giving our people a chance first.
That's the
And they haven't listened, and they're not gonna listen. And many of them that want to listen are, like you said, they're afraid. Like a sister told me, I believe everything you're saying, but everybody ain't going that way. Right. And I got to go with them because I'm scared. I had many brothers come and tell me, man, I tell you the truth, brother, I'm afraid.
They think that those people imagining that A.H.A.D is going to forgive them because they were afraid.
Yes, of course, and at the same time, you got to understand. And at the same time, you got to understand, most people in the world that claim to believe in Allah don't believe.
Yeah.
You heard that old saying the brothers used to say, make a joke. Everybody wanted to go to heaven, but everybody afraid to die.
Yeah.
The same thing. Everybody wants to say they believe, but they believe in Allah, but they don't want to believe in Allah. They're afraid to believe in Allah because they don't want Allah to be real. Look at Farrakhan. We going out there to Chicago. We still got brothers today saying that didn't happen. I don't believe that. Because Farrakhan won't tell them, and the people in Chicago won't tell them that we came out there for 5 days after they said they would sit down with us. Promised to sit down with me. And ran and refused to come out. Hid. Kept talking about they ain't know where he was at, in the city somewhere. After we gave them 17 letters while we were there.
Right.
And begging to speak, like, okay, let me speak to somebody in your administration. Well, we haven't heard of you. Nobody knows you in Newark. Yeah, right. Well, I am the one who was promised to come. Tell them that.
Right.
Little old me. You know? So they don't want to believe in Allah.
They don't.
You think, I mean, I used to feel sorry for Farrakhan for so many years.
Yeah.
I mean, I was back and forth. And Allah let me feel sorry for him, then Allah would stop me. But when Allah gave me the book and gave me the words and sent me out there and made that appointment before I even left Jersey and sent me out there and this man pulled that and I even told him, I said, the government is messing with me and my family because of this. And I would need to sit down and talk with you, and this man still refused to come and wouldn't honor that appointment. I said, this man ain't right. This man ain't trying to serve Allah.
He not.
This man's a devil. I don't care. And Allah said, that's what Allah told me. The two greatest enemies of the chosen people today is Louis Farrakhan and Wallace Muhammad. Warathine Muhammad. That's what Allah told me. Allah said, but Wallace is so evil. And it says that the damnation is already set for him. That I'm not even going to allow you to call him. Just let him know that you are here. Yeah. And that's when I sent that double letter to him and Farrakhan. And that's when they turned around and said, we together. We've been brothers, you know, all the time. We're family. We always work together because they was afraid that I was coming to bring some people to come against them.
A united front.
A united front against me and Allah.
That was it.
That was what they did.
And
that is what they did. But he has died, left his people out there with nothing. Farrakhan gonna die and leave his people out there with nothing. And Sister Tanetta gonna keep talking about my number and Allah's number, the 19, and keep disregarding me, calling her, telling her I can explain to her what this number 19, this signature of Allah is. You know, I mean, come on, they don't want Allah for real. They want, see, Farrakhan's so afraid that if he meet me, his power is gone. He don't want to stand before the Lord and lose his power in this life. And he don't care about his money makers. They making his money, his hoes and pimps. Brothers on the street. You can't say, they try to say that about Elijah, but you can't say that about Elijah because Elijah employed people. Right. Elijah set up strategic plans for the future for when he passed. But his family came and killed it. Right. You understand? This man is trying to imitate Elijah, but he can't get there because A.H.A.D ain't with him. Even though A.H.A.D's mercy is on his people and is letting them have some farming and a few little businesses and what have you, because A.H.A.D is merciful and just. You know? This man, all he's done is taken that Mos Miriam and Elijah's house, so it looked like he's the king that's been put in place. And they brought nothing new to educate the people. I tell him, look, I have something from Allah for you. I didn't say I come to take your power. I come to give you something to empower you with A.H.A.D. Let him know his people are the soldiers. I wasn't trying to be no soldier. I ain't trying to make y'all no soldiers. Here, they need to be taught. But he wouldn't even look at it. Wouldn't look at Allah's message. Refuse. And then say, I'm afraid of the man from the Lord. I'm afraid of the messenger. So what can we do?
Keep coming.
We keep going. We leave them off. Because, see, now is the time has come where I'm not just addressing our people. You know, our people ain't worthy. You know, they always got to wait till the Caucasians come and say, oh, you're good. This the man. Then they going to want to come. I was with you all the time.
Boss, can we believe him?
Can we believe the boss? Yeah.
Can we?
Believe him now, boss.
They're going to say other God now. Gonna be Obama. They're looking at the God of this day now.
Yeah, and that's the sad, and that's the sad part about it. Warith Muhammad, before he passed, he turned our people.
He said that.
No, but not just backing him, but he turned our people to politics as their goal.
Yeah.
See, beyond politics now, his people have no goal, no further goal beyond politics. He took them away from spirituality. Elijah was at least trying to guide them into spirituality, because Elijah didn't give them spirituality, but he's trying to guide them into spirituality and get them prepared for the new covenant and the new education. You know, so now they're not fit for it, because some of them are so tied up into making money that they think that's the great success. You understand what I'm saying? And then on the other hand, the other ones are so busy hating the white man. You know what I'm saying? And
two extremes almost.
Two extremes. And some of their leaders is whiter than the white man. I'm talking about in flesh color.
Yeah.
And they don't realize all that Caucasian in them. And you hating a part of your own self. You understand?
Right.
Part of the chosen people was mixed with Caucasian.
Right.
Yeah.
And every other people. So who is it for us to go and hate in life when they make up the chosen people? The Negroes.
That's true.
You know? But A.H.A.D sent this message down, not just for Negroes. It gave my people a chance to be in the center as the chosen people to protect this new covenant. You understand? But it's calling all people. And then all the things that we said it was going to do in the 90s and the early 2000s, you see it happening in the land. You see the insects attacking human. You know, and now we got this case about 13th Street and those 3 houses where the bed bugs. You know, and all that stuff is just a part of what Allah's curse is. It said it clearly what it was going to do. It was going to use the insects. It was the microorganisms, the 4 elements of that you know supports the life of Earth. It's going to tear it down. It's going to turn Earth off its course. It's going to split the Earth and it's going to split the moon. Huh? And it's doing all that. Now you got people like Bush coming in talking about what already happened, acting like it's going to happen, and blaming all the homeowners in the middle class for the downfall of the United States of America, when it started with Reagan, who came and let all the Republicans spend up all the money, then try to sit Clinton up in there to get busted up, but it didn't happen like that, right? And the effects of it ain't start showing till now. And they destroyed the economy. They robbed the people. Now they're going to make the people pay for it. All they got to do is drop one of NASA's programs and they'll be back on top. But they ain't going to do that. They're going to take the taxes from the people. $700 billion to put them back on top.
And then
Put the robber barons back on top. The ones that robbing people in the beginning.
The ones who's robbing. But look at what they doing. They even, let me tell you the other thing, the heavy thing. They say Bush say they gonna buy the houses, all the houses that's going foreclosure. The government gonna buy all them houses. You think the government gonna pay the value for it? What they say the value is? No. It's gonna pay what the cost is of those houses
Right.
and a little over, get the people a little bit of money. Say, well, this the government, we can't do that. We trying to get the economy back. Buy up them houses, and then when they straighten things out, they're gonna sell them houses at the value.
Right.
And where that money going? In their pockets. Some going to the treasury, but a lot of it going in their pockets.
They got a term for that, inflation.
Oh man,
That's inflation. That's what
they
it is.
are,
Inflation value
and the
thing.
people just standing back like donkeys, like goats, like jerks.
People of all races.
Well, what
all
we gonna
types,
do?
all
How we
types,
gonna
all
get out of this?
yeah.
You know?
All the people.
I don't
They just
think
don't know.
$700 billion is the answer, because they ain't said not $1 billion of that money gonna create new jobs.
Oh no.
People
Oh,
don't
he
have
said.
jobs.
Oh, he said he gonna figure out through this. He had. I mean, you didn't see the program, his speech, but he hooked it up. He tied all his knots. He dotted all his I's, crossed all his T's, and put all his periods in place. And I said, woo, that is the highest level of get over I have ever seen. They are master get over artists.
Deceit artist.
Oh man, and the people gonna go for it, man.
Oh yeah, they sat at that
go
table.
Huh?
Obama and McCain at the end of that whole thing, and like,
Oh man, and then they wrapped it up by saying we're gonna meet with Obama and McCain. And I said, oh shucks, both houses come together.
Yeah.
So they showing the people that we just one house, with two legs. You understand? So now it don't matter who become president.
it don't.
This program
This bill we gonna push.
is because Bush about to go out in a few months.
That's
Few
it.
months. So
That's
it's
what they
in
said.
there.
That's what they were saying.
On
They
the
said
floor.
how is it that they pushing this bill
It's
so
in there.
quickly?
It's in there.
Why he's still in? They said that bill
Because the
should
people,
be there till after he leaves to be voted on.
Yeah.
because the gin who run the country, the gin that had the coup,
That's
the
what it
coup
is.
that took over the presidency
That's it.
2 times and put Bush in there, those people said this must be.
Yeah.
Period.
Now where the truth of these jokers? That's why the politicians are some of the polite call them the devil as they are. Where they standing for truth now?
Have they ever
stand for truth? They won't do that.
I think of those.
No. But back, go ahead.
The news of those banks failing and stuff like that. You
They
think the banks
failing. You think them banks
They
failing?
crushed
They
them on
failing them
purpose.
banks. They
Yeah,
crushed
but
them
another
on.
bank takes
Lehman
it over, it's the
Brothers
same
gonna
thing.
crush. They had to crush the 2 biggest banks so the people
There you
say,
go.
"Oh shucks," just
Yeah.
like they had to knock down the World Trade
Trade
Center
Center.
so the people say, "Oh shucks."
Yeah.
I mean, it's all been prophesied, man.
Two
All
houses.
these games they playing, man. They stripping their people down. Why you think they put the black man face up front for running for presidency, for running the military, for joining the military? Trying to make them appear as though they equal, so the people all over the world will say, okay, they fair to their slaves.
That's the
And their slaves is a part of them, so when you capture them, kill their asses, kill them too, and take them as prisoners and treat them the same as them Caucasians.
That's the
And who has always been at the front line of the war for real? Black
the
folks.
black folks.
That's how they eliminate a lot of them.
That's the black out if I ever heard of it.
You know what
They
I'm
used to
saying?
feel sorry
Come
for us. Now
on.
that we're Bush, they want to hunt us. That's what's going
Man,
on.
don't get me going, man.
So you
You
pulling
know,
the, you
That's
pulling
the whole
sheets out
point,
the,
Nora.
you pulling the car. They like, how he
Yeah,
know?
get it
Because the
to
gin, the
Let
beast
the
amongst
people
men
know what's the
is
The
doing
truth
this one of the
is
truth,
the
the
truth.
puppet masters
The truth
at the
is the
highest
truth,
level.
man.
Our people see
You
the
know?
puppets thinking they calling shots. No. That curve like the eye. What's the vibe? Pull that curtain back. Oh, it's him. That's what's going on. Our people buying a hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, they are.
They never think about the poor
Yeah,
people.
they are.
The
ones
rich get
who-
richer. Them guys making 20, 30 billion. They still don't get that money.
You think
Yeah.
about
They
the
still
poor
get that
people
money.
As long as they can get what they can get out of the poor
And-
people.
They don't want the poor people at all.
You know?
Greed is
They
ridiculous.
keep them up
But
poor.
Obama
You know.
said something that last night that shocked me, and I said, "Whoa, I
Oh, the
gotta
little
watch.
debate.
I gotta watch TV a little more," because he said, Senator McCain said that he wants to write into law where everybody will get back $7,000 or more in tax return. The least will be $7,000. And Senator Obama said he wanted to be where people that's the middle class people and those under the middle class people from $250,000
under. I was like,
will
that ain't
not have
middle
to
class.
pay, will not have to pay taxes. I said, oh heck, $250,000 a year is not considered
middle class.
up. I said, well, we must be the lowest on the low.
If we don't have to pay
We
taxes,
ain't what- we
are
only
we gonna
one
get
step.
taxes? If we don't have to pay taxes, is we gonna get money back?
I
You know, cause see, it's beneficial that some people pay taxes
There you
because they get some other kinds of returns for paying them taxes.
Well, all I can say, yeah, once he
You know?
said that, I said, whoo. All my life I'm working, I'm only one stage above a welfare check.
Well, if you don't pay taxes and you don't get a job, you don't get no unemployment.
One
You ain't
stage.
getting nothing.
One day, but I was telling
That's the
her,
sad
You
part.
will be the taxed man.
I was telling Holy Apostle today about how evil is in large numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so many people that's in the church.
Evil is
Yeah,
good.
evil is good, and they're in large numbers.
She was saying, let me say, cause she like sound like she ready to go back to sleep. But she was saying evil is always grouped in the greater numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth, you know. The great amount of people in the world is evil. You know,
Yeah.
the greatest institutions are evil. People with the most money are evil. People with most of the power is evil. You know, and it's the good people who are meek and humble. They're the least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they have no desires for the things of this world so much, so they have the desires for the Lord Most High.
But I was telling him that in the city of Newark alone, we talk about recession and things of that nature. But if you take each church that's raking in, and these churches in our community is raking in millions of dollars a year. One church, the members sued them and got settlements.
That's
of
what I'm
millions of
talking
dollars.
about. That's what I'm talking about. Like where I think Muhammad turned the Muslims of the nation that followed him, turned them to politicians. The church sued the church inside the courts. They had to turn to the politicians. Now listen, they have made the politicians greater than the Lord Most High.
Yeah.
In both races. You understand? I've had people who call themselves believers, believers try to took me to court.
Yeah.
To try to make me surrender to the judge in court, knowing that Allah sent down the commandment that I am not to be judged.
Mm-hmm.
You see? Because they believe that these people in law enforcement is greater than Allah. That's the way, because they don't believe in Allah. You know, and I'm not gonna call their names,
But politics have taken over the pulpits in the religions.
Yeah.
It become a new place to draw the new politicians out.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying now, the money all that money they collect, they don't invest into their community. They'll build a nice church, don't get me wrong.
They invest so that they can make more money. Now the new thing in Newark is the churches buy up the land for not the land, but the houses.
Right.
You understand? And put people in to make more money.
Right.
Yeah, they do.
And it don't become for the congregation, it become under the auspices of the church itself.
Right. Become landlords.
Because
There you go.
when do you get to a place, if you one who is about worshiping the Lord, that you leave off everything else, you know, and you just focus on you gaining capital. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't
they do
give
that.
that money to Allah.
They do that now.
But the Lord tells you to, you know, to give us financial means so that we could do right in serving it. So now, why we want to sit back and the church is making millions of dollars, and now there's some churches in Newark that's making all that money,
We got less than a minute.
and they we had to wait till somebody else decided to put a recreation center in the community for the children.
Because, see, let me just answer this real quick. We got about 20, 30 seconds. They always been evil, Rabia. You know yourself that Jesus is not a Christian. Christianity came 300 years after Jesus. It was a plan of the Catholics and the Jews and the politicians, okay? Now, here it is, up to the day real quick. Still the same program, man. They evil. They ain't for the Lord Most High.
works and stays.
They're the servants of the devil.
I know that.
And there we
Same,
go.
but the game the same.
Yeah.
With that being said, if you want to reach us by correspondence,
You don't have that time to tell them we'll see you later. May a equal peace and blessings be
Who
in about the
of you
presence.
want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed?